Assalamualaikum and welcome to everyone. All right, I hope that my sound is clear. Okay, so now it's at 3 p.m. I'm sure there's a lot more joining us, yeah, by the time, but let us just start it. Yeah, let's get started. Now, before we start, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Ros Haslina, or you can call me Nina. I am the CEO of ACT4Health. So, for those who don't know what ACT4Health is doing, we are providing senior health care and therapy for our seniors using our own evidence-based service. So, we are situated in Section 19 PJ, where if you need want to know more about our test and therapy, you can contact us, where I will share about our contact detail at the end of this webinar. So now again, welcome to those who are just joining us. This is today's webinar is we're going to talk about healthy eating tips for seniors to stay active and happy in Ramadan. Oh yeah, before I forgot, today our technical person for today is Miss Sam. Yeah, she's behind the scene, but she's very helpful and important person. Okay, for today's session, we are going to learn on how to maintain a balanced diet, address malnutrition, and ensure proper hydration while fasting, especially for seniors. So this session is tailored for our seniors and for anyone who keen on staying healthy during Ramadan or maybe trying to do extreme intermittent fasting for those who are non-Muslim. Yeah. Okay. So let me share my screen. Uh, sh- all right. Hope it's coming. Okay. Before we start, some housekeeping rules. So throughout this webinar, please mute yourself just to avoid if there's any disturbance from the sounds. Okay, but here there is you can encourage to switch on your camera because we love to see all your faces. Yeah, but it is totally optional. And there is also a raise hand button. If you want to raise any concern, you can raise your hand. Then we can unmute yourself if you want to speak to us. And there is also a chat box there where you can type in any of your concern or question later on during Q&A. But if and also if you feel shy to unmute yourself as well. So let us get know our speaker for today. It is Miss Nur Hafiza. She experienced dietitian with over 2 decades practice. Wow, 20 years. So her career started in 2010 as a clinical and community dietitian under Ministry of Health Malaysia. She is an accredited dietitian by Bahagian Sains Kesihatan Bersekutu Malaysia in 2021. She is currently pursuing her PhD in clinical nutrition, focusing on gestational diabetes mellitus. And what is that? There's a typo.
Health. It's short for mobile health.
Oh, okay. So, Madam Miss Hafiza can share about that one lah. Okay. So for this session, before I pass to our speaker, it is more like a Q&A where I will read the question and then Miss Nur Hafiza will share about the answers of the question. So without further ado, I would like to pass my screen to Miss Nur Hafiza with the first question here that I would like to ask. What are the key nutritional consideration and best food for sahur for seniors during Ramadan? This is to ensure they stay healthy and maintain their energy throughout the day while fasting. So over to you, Miss Nur Hafiza.
Hi, thank you so much, Doctor, for the kind introduction. So, is it okay for me to mix a bit of PM and BI, as I see there's quite a variety of us that's inside this talk for today? Okay, so this is a simple question, but the answer is very long. There is no one thing that you should consider. There are so many factors that you should consider for sahur. Okay, and many seniors, especially, sad to say that sahur is not a priority for them during the Ramadan month. They would most of us would focus on during breaking the fast, but suhoor is sometimes being neglected because most of us, I can say if from the previous studies in our CNUTs, the Southeast Asian Nutrition Study, for our kids, almost 80% doesn't take breakfast. So I have a feeling that it goes on throughout the adult life. So for the seniors, sometimes sahur is neglected or not being prioritized enough, and this can cause some trouble all throughout the day. So actually, sahur is quite important, or I can say more important than breaking fast, because you have a longer time to break fast, but a very limited time to take sahur. So it's during that time where you have to overcome your sleepiness to wake up and get take a good sahur. You have to overcome your feeling of um you're not comfortable of taking breakfast if previously you're not taking breakfast, and in the third time you're supposed to take something that is nutritionally good and balanced. So from someone that doesn't take breakfast usually, or take a very light breakfast, all of a sudden you have to wake up earlier and then eat a more healthy and nutritional balanced meal, so that's going to be a problem. And it that does not take into consideration the amount of medication that you have to take, because for the seniors there's definitely diabetic medication, hypertension medication, cholesterol medication. So there's so many medications that you have to take, and some is you have to take it before meal and some you have to take it after meal. And this is also in taking into consideration those who have problems in swallowing, problems in chewing, those who have limited number of teeth, or that do not wear any dentures, tak pakai gigi palsu, tapi gigi tinggal berapa batang saja. Those who have problems in swallowing, sometimes they have ulcers, sometimes you have dry mouth, for those who are seniors. So all this would actually add into more challenges for seniors to take sahur. Okay, so how do we pack? How do we get enough? So sorry, I have a construction in the next door. All right, so how do you get enough? How do you make sure that you have a healthy, balanced diet that can maintain your energy throughout the day? Okay, so I'm sure everybody has heard of suku-suku separuh. Okay, quarter half from Ministry of Health. Okay, but this one I would like to uh, emphasize that for seniors who are more than 65 years old, suku-suku separuh is not um, applicable for you anymore. I'm part of the AGK that does the suku-suku separuh. So this as a healthy plate method is actually for between 18 to 60 years of age. After that, yours your plate will become different. Okay. So before I go on, I would like to stress what I'm going to say is for those who have it's for general, is not inclusive of any underlying medical illness, meaning those who have diabetic, those who have problem in kidney, those who have problems in other health. It's not applicable of what I'm going to say. If you what you want to know more, if you have this diabetic, CKD, heart, and other medical underlying, you have to refer to your local dietitian at the clinic kesihatan. Okay, so what I'm saying is for those who are generally good in their health, and most probably just only have hypertension. You don't have any other medical illnesses. So this is what I'm going to say for you guys. But for the others, for those who are other underlying medical illnesses besides hypertension, please refer to your dietitian at the clinic kesihatan. There are many of us already in clinic kesihatan, the government. You can just simply ask the doctor for you to refer. Okay, so now quite a long introduction, right? So now we go into the nutritional considerations. So number one, your plate should be 1/3 of carbohydrate, 1/3 of protein, and 1/3 of fiber. So the fiber will usually come from green vegetables. Okay, so remember, 1/3 should be carbohydrate, 1/3 should be protein, and 1/3 should be vegetable. Now, how do we combine all this for something that you can take in sahur? Because I know most of you cannot take rice or want something very simple. So it doesn't mean that you have to take rice together with the lauk during the sahur. But as long as you take these three components during sahur, it should be good for you. You should have enough carbohydrate for a staple amount of energy throughout the day. You should have enough protein to prevent any muscle wasting, and you should have enough fiber to prevent you from having gastrointestinal issues such as sembelit, cerit-berit, and to maintain your gastrointestinal environment. So the carbohydrate can be from your rice, from your bread, from your mihun, from your mee. Some wants to take lempeng, some want to take what do you call that? Murtabak. So any form of carbohydrate should be there. So if it's 1/3, it's equivalent to about half a plate of rice. Okay, that's 1/3, half a plate, or 2 to 3 slices of bread. Okay, so for those who want to take roti canai or chapati or tose, uh, one whole roti canai, chapati, and tose with kuah kari dal. Okay, so that is your carbohydrate. For your protein, if it's 1/3, it should be 1.5 of your palm size. Okay, so this is very easy. If your carbohydrate is 1/3, it should be about 3 scoops or 3 sizes of your fist. But for protein, it should be 1.5 palm size. So satu ketul ayam, 1/2 ketul, ataupun kalau potong kecil-kecil, 3 ketul ayam, ataupun 1/2 ekor ikan, but it might be a lot. So what we do is you can mix it up. One can be from your egg, one satu ketul from your ayam, and then another one from your drink which is full cream milk. So boleh mix and match kalau protein tu. Tak semestinya makan lauk sahaja. Okay, so boleh mix and match in terms of that. Your fiber pula adalah sayur-sayuran hijau. So sayur-sayuran hijau, I don't mind any sayuran hijau as long as it's hijau, as long as it's green. So nak ambil yang how do you say, yang berdaun, macam bayam, kangkung, kailan pun boleh. Yang tak berdaun macam timun, kacang panjang, kacang buncis pun boleh, no problem. Okay, so remember the senior healthy plate for the seniors is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. It's not suku separuh. You need more. You need more. Why? Because dah tak absorb ataupun digest as good as the younger ones now. So you need more. Okay. All right. I think that is the answer for the first question. So it's
Yes,
like,
yeah, wonderful. Because this is actually something new to me as well. Because we always heard about that suku-suku separuh, right? Thank you so much for emphasizing that in the beginning of this, so that we have a good mindset in the beginning of the webinar. Just a little bit. So just now you mentioned that the fiber is come from the vegetables, right? So how about for those who are not eating vegetables but they like to eat fruits? Would that be a good alternative as well?
all right. So there is actually 2 types of fibers. Okay. One is how we call a soluble fiber, and one is insoluble fiber. So those two have a different they have a different function. Okay, so from the green vegetables, we have the insoluble fiber. So this insoluble fiber will actually help you have a better gut, not say gut flow. You have no problems in najis besar. So no sembelit, tak ada cerit-berit. That one comes from the insoluble fiber, and plus can balance out your hypertension, and if those diabetic can actually help control a bit more of the diabetic release of sugar slowly all throughout the day. So
Mm.
that is the insoluble fiber from the green vegetables. Now, insoluble fiber comes from the same um, um, comes from the same class as carbohydrate. So
Mm.
actually, the carbohydrate is inclusive of your fruits, is inclusive of your other soluble fiber sources like oats, like barley, like your wholemeal bread. So this insoluble fiber is actually in the carbohydrate. We don't yes, we don't how do you say asingkan. Asingkan like the insoluble fiber in our green vegetables. So
Mhm.
green vegetables stand alone because they have the benefits there. So carbohydrate there is inclusive of the soluble fiber and the protein. So
Mm.
no, you cannot substitute green vegetables
Oh,
with
all right. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah. The nutrition part and diet part is really something new for me as well, because I always take it for granted. Just eat, but I don't really understand what is the behind it. Thank you for sharing. Now let's move on to the next question, where how can seniors prevent dehydration while
Hmm.
fasting?
All right. This one is quite not only for seniors but actually for us young people, not seniors. Yeah, this is one of the main problems during puasa in Malaysia's hot climate. How to drink enough during fasting. So it is quite impossible for you to take 8 glasses of water at sahur. So what
Mm.
we do is we suggest to take a certain amount of glasses of water during the periods of the fasting month. So one is beginning of sahur, after sahur, near imsak, during breaking of fast, post breakfast, and more. So there's practically 5 to 6 stages that we will suggest. So during sahur, before sahur, you take 1 glass. After sahur, 1 glass or 1 mug, just 1 mug. Imsak, meaning prior to subuh azan, 1 cup. Breaking fast, 1 cup. After you break fast, another cup. Uh, during prior to tarawih, 1 cup, and post tarawih, another cup. So altogether, you get 8 cups as well.
Mm. So that's mean that the tips is that they need just to try to strategize like how many cups they need to take and when they need to take, to make sure that they have a complete one by sahur. Oh.
Yes, exactly. Not to take everything at one go.
Yeah. Then if it's just take a whole at the one time, then it will go straightly to the bladder and they just pass it through.
Yes, and then another thing is if you're too full of liquid, you're not able to take proper food after that. You'll be
Ah,
feeling full of liquids.
yeah, makes sense as well. Okay. Will this take account into also like if they drink coffee or tea, or it needs to be a plain water?
No, it does not take into consideration flavored beverages. It's plain water only.
Okay. Nice. Now let's just move to the next question. Okay. What are the common nutritional deficiency that seniors might face during Ramadan, and how can they be addressed?
All right. This one I can say in both macronutrients and micronutrients. So macronutrients is the main carbohydrate, protein, fat.
Mm.
Interestingly enough, you can take adequate carbohydrate throughout the day, but many don't take enough protein.
Oh.
So it's our Malaysian food, our Malaysian culture, our Malaysian style. Most of our food is quite packed in sugar, in fat, especially from susu pekat manis, sweetened condensed milk, cheese, chocolate. So in terms of carbohydrate, it's actually very enough. in terms of carbohydrate, you can reach up to 60 to 70% during Ramadan.
Mm.
But sad to say, the carbohydrate would be slightly reduced. Not the fat, not the carbohydrate, but the protein would be slightly reduced during Ramadan. Like I said, during sahur, most usually take carbohydrate. They do not prioritize to take protein during the sahur. So sometimes just slices of bread with some planta and coffee, and then that's it. So no protein sources. And then when you break fast, more that's on your plate is from carbohydrate. So not so much in protein. There is, but maybe just a very small amount, not adequate enough. So in terms of macronutrient, the main nutrient, protein is the one that's lesser in Ramadan. Okay. But in terms of micronutrient, um, we can see the main vitamins, vitamin A, C, E. Okay, because there's a lesser amount of intake of fruits during Ramadan, only limited to kurma. We see there's a lesser amount of potassium uh, and calcium because there is no intake of or lesser intake of vegetables and lesser intake of dairy-based products. But we see an increase in sodium, which comes from preservatives,
Oh.
packaged foods, those who cook high in salt, high in flavorings. So that one, we have a lot of increment during Ramadan. So in terms of micronutrient, your main vitamins, your A, C, E, B, Bs, definitely has a decrease, and so is your potassium and calcium level. So those who want to take multivitamins during Ramadan, for seniors, is very, very much approved, very, very much digalakkan, because memang there is a lesser intake inside Ramadan. It can help with the multivitamins to supplement the amount that you're not getting from your food.
Mm. All right. Yeah. So the multivitamins now is just important to be as a supplement for the daily intakes. All right. So, is there any sign of malnutrition that seniors can take note, or there's something that they need to aware if they experience this kind of sign? Could be there is a sign of malnutrition.
Sorry again.
Can you share? Is there any sign of malnutrition that our seniors need to be aware of?
Okay. All right. I think the fastest kind of symptom that we can see is muscle cramp. Muscle cramp, as you know, that one can be because of dehydration, lack of magnesium, lack of calcium, and lack of protein. So
Mm.
you can see there's an increase in cramps, maybe at night, maybe during the day. So that is one of the fastest symptoms that we can see. Um, Besides that, other symptoms will take quite some time to manifest, 2 weeks or more. Mostly like muscle fatigue, muscle weakness. Um, how should I say? And sometimes these symptoms are being seen as normal, as something
Mm.
that it's going to be faced in Ramadan, but actually it's a nutritional deficiency. So some people think it's normal to feel tired in Ramadan. It's normal to feel fatigue in Ramadan. But if it's extreme tired, extreme fatigues until you sleep the most hours of the day, that can be signs of nutritional deficiency. So something that can be more of an alarm is if you're having muscle cramps.
Mm.
It doesn't matter when or what time of the day, night or during the day. That is a clear symptom that you're having some sort of nutrition deficiency.
Good to know about that because I believe this is also one of the question that I see in our response form submitted by our participants where they ask about how to prevent the leg cramp. You know,
Mm.
like maybe like during Tarawih or what they used to standing a lot. So this is something that they are concerned about as well. So yeah, so that could be one sign of that they need to take care of their nutrition
Yeah.
intakes then. Okay, good. Yeah. So how okay, when it comes to the family members, right? How they can help by ensuring their loved one getting adequate nutrition during Ramadan.
All right. So I'll be talking about three types. One, those who are very good in their appetite, very good in their intake.
Hmm?
Boleh makan sehat, boleh makan cantik, tak ada masalah nak swallow or chew. Okay, just make sure that there's enough portion on the plate. Provide lauk, provide the option that are healthy. So if you are the one that's doing the shopping at Ramadan for your elderly loved ones, please don't go and keep on getting satay, keep on getting apa, all those. Yes, that is lovely. It's really
Makanan
nice.
keinginan, is it?
Them, yes. So once in a while, please go and get ayam golek. You can go and get taufu fa, which is a form of soy that's easy for them to eat if they don't have diabetes, or lauk that they can take easily and that they like, not only for you but for them as well. So if you're doing the shopping, if you're doing the cooking, provide the option there. Jangan masak-masak-masak, there is no sayur at all. Sayur ada tapi inside the lauk, inside the curry, inside the masak manis, inside the tom yum, not a whole dish of sayur by itself. So prepare the option, make sure they have that three options on their plate. Ingat, satu per tiga, satu per tiga, satu per tiga. So they have to have that option. So for the ones that have some problem in swallowing, loss of appetite, low intake, meaning they can take less than half of the plate. Or sorry, they can take more than half of the plate but less than a full plate. Meaning is between half and full plate. So three quarter ke, something like that. Make sure that you might have to get ready some supplements.
Hmm.
All right, multivitamins, maybe protein supplements. There's many in form of shakes at the pharmacist, at the pharmacy. Please don't buy the shakes or supplement drinks from MLM or from those who are selling individually. Get it from the pharmacy. All right, because pharmacies only sell those who are being who is already accredited, those who are the products that are suitable for patients. They cannot sell outside of that. Okay, so they might have to see adding on supplements, nutritional drinks for the elderly if they're taking between half and full. If they can finish, go ahead, can finish. But if they are able to take half to full, they have to have some sort of supplements to top up. If they are taking half, so if they are taking half or less than half of what they are putting on the plate, definitely you have to add on supplements. You
Hmm.
have to add on in some sort of meal replacement so that they will have the nutrition, but at the same time, they don't have to force themselves to take a lot. So this is the one that you can see inside the TV. Sometimes you can see glucina, you can take Ensure,
Hmm.
Nutren, what else? There's so many products.
Appleton, yeah.
Yes, Epton, that is the kind that can be taken on top of their intake. So let them finish what they can finish. If they can finish half, then you top up with a full serving of that meal replacement. For those who can take half to a whole, you can give the supplements, but you don't have to give the full serving. You can give half. But for those who can finish whatever they're eating, make sure that they have the option on their plate instead of just preparing only bubur. Bubur kosong, tak ada ni sangat. So you have to prepare according to their appetite, according to how much they can finish.
Hmm. Okay. When talking about supplement and also meal replacement, is it safe for them just to buy it from the counter, I mean from the pharmacies? Do they need to get some prescription for that?
Okay. If it's inside the pharmacists like Guardian, Watson, Aeon, Big Pharmacy, and such, that is okay.
Hmm.
We don't suggest MLM. um there's quite a lot of MLM. I'm not against MLM, but anything that is for elderly, we should have to take extra precaution. So I'm not how should I say, I'm not promoting I'm not promoting anything, and I'm not saying this is bad, I'm not saying this is good. I'm saying that you should buy from the pharmacist, because this is the type of product that's already how should we say, evidence based,
Mm.
right? Evidence based in the pharmacy. So those that are not sold in the pharmacy, okay, it's not uh adequately evidence based. That's what I say. Okay. All right. So you don't need a prescription. They already state how much is the full serving and how much is the half serving and such. But be careful, because the products are, how should we say, um disease specific. So there are some that is for diabetics, there are some that are for cancer, there are some that are for non-diabetic. So be careful on which product. Get your pharmacist to help.
Okay, understand. So as long as it's been is from the evidence base, you following the dosage and also know that that is good for which condition, health condition it is, then it should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now since we're talking about all this health condition, right? So how can seniors with chronic conditions such as diabetes or high blood pressure, because this is the most common diseases among our seniors, right? That they can adjust their diet during Ramadan.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this one is very sensitive. Because I, as a clinical dietitian, for each different chronic condition, we have a special type of diet. It's not just one diet that fits all. So, for example, if you have hypertension only, you would focus on low sodium, low fat diet, low sodium, low fat, high fiber diet. But if you add on diabetes with hypertension, we have a diabetic diet, low sodium, low fat, high fiber diet. But if you are
Mm.
having with diabetes only, no hypertension, which is very rare, you only be on diabetic diet. So for each chronic conditions, there is a different type of diet for them. And it would be adjusted according to the medication that they are taking, according to their blood results, their current blood results, and according to their appetite. Okay, so actually, any elderly or seniors with chronic conditions, before Ramadan comes, you should have confided, or you should have consulted with your doctor whether or not I can fast. If
Mm.
you can, there would be medication adjustment, and we would then you can continue of your current intake. But if from the prior to Ramadan, the doctor says, no, you cannot fast. Your blood sugar is too high. You have high tendency of hypo and hyper. You have uncontrolled blood pressure. You have high readings of HbA1c. Then please don't fast. Actually, we have a study between the Islamic regions, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, India, and Malaysia. Out of all four of this, when we do the diabetic and Ramadan study, Malaysians yang paling susah nak terima hakikat tak boleh puasa.
Oh.
Other countries, if the doctor says, please don't fast, jangan cuba puasa because you are at risk of your health, okay, they follow the doctors. They do not force themselves untuk puasa because boleh memudaratkan. But in Malaysia, when we say don't, please don't, nak juga try. And then they come to the clinic with high hyperglycemia, hypoglycemia because tak sesuai untuk puasa. Bukan saja-saja kita nak cakap, tapi memang boleh memudaratkan. If doktor kata tak sesuai, please jangan try. Jangan buat. Because berdasarkan kepada ubat dan juga bacaan gula dalam darah yang terkini. Okay, jangan risau. But those who nak doktor kata go, boleh. Boleh jumpa dietitian sebelum Ramadan tu start, and kita akan bagi tahu apa diet yang sesuai berdasarkan berapa banyak chronic condition yang ada. Diabetes saja ke, diabetes tambah darah tinggi ke, diabetes tambah darah tinggi tambah apa sakit buah pinggang ke, semua kita akan cakap. Tapi
Mm.
in this talk I cannot say because it's what there's a lot of
One hour is not enough to
there's a
cover.
lot of different types of diet.
Yeah, okay. So with that, since that it is not enough time to cover here, right? Is there any resources or any book or website that you suggest that perhaps our seniors and family members can refer to?
Okay, yes, there is. Let me see. Let me share with you the screen. We
Mm.
have this called DAR Alliance, the Diabetes and Ramadan Alliance,
Mm.
which is done together with our professor in Malaysia as well. So it's suitable for Malaysians. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay. All right. So if you can see, this is called Diabetic and Ramadan. Uh, the DAR, Diabetes and Ramadan International Alliance. You can
Mm-hmm.
just type it in your website. Okay. All right. This one, it can give you some examples of what to eat. Yes, you can see this Ramadan nutrition plan. You can see what can be eaten, what can be taken, example of the meals that you can take. So,
Mm.
all right, so just click on it and then you can see. In fact, oh, sorry. Um, okay, so in fact, you can also download the application. So
Mm.
don't worry, this is evidence based. Even our dietitian ada dekat sini, they did ni. So I've already installed the DAR at my phone. You can try. So here, I'll just stop. So here you can actually see the type of food that you can take. Examples. So once you download the app, you can go there, you can see inside there is a nutrition plan. What kind of food that's suitable for you to take during sahur, what's suitable for you
Mm.
during apa nama tu during berbuka.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Means that they can key in whatever health condition they have, and then it can help to give some idea of what are the
Yes. So you can
options that
just
they
go to
have.
the daralliance.me
Mm-hmm.
and go to the website, and then there is a platform for you to download the apps and you can see the Ramadan nutrition plan. In fact, it can also have the how should I say uh we can screen whether or not you are at risk for hypo or hyperglycemia during Ramadan. So
Mm-hmm.
you can insert yourself sesuai ke tak untuk berpuasa.
Mm.
There are
Okay.
many other information like how to prepare, bad eating habits, example of Ramadan plate, and then it's all based on your weight and height. So it can help to give some sort of idea for those elderly that doesn't have chronic conditions beside high blood pressure. For
Mm.
those who have diabetic and such, you have to refer to the dietitian. But if you only have high blood pressure or no chronic conditions, then you can use this. There's a lot of examples that you can take.
Yep. Yeah, thank you for sharing. For those for our participants who are not managed to jot down what is the website just now, our team will try our best to provide that the link in an email, because after this webinar you should receive the feedback form that you should fill in. So we will make sure to include these resources to share with you as well. Okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing about that. Now, let's just go to the next question. What are some healthy and easily digestible options for breaking the fast? So this is the iftar lah, so after the suhoor and for the throughout the days.
All right. um, Healthy and easily digestible options are usually fruits. Any fruits is a very good option to have instant energy,
Mm,
but at the same time, a lot of vitamins, and it can also help with the fiber intake as well. So any sort of fruits, it doesn't matter your kurma ke, mango, tempikai, betik, doesn't matter. That is one of the best things for you to take masa berbuka during the early phases. And besides that, we actually do not suggest to seniors to take oily and high santan foods, because this is the kind of foods that's quite difficult to digest and can cause um stomach pains, uncomfortable.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, stomach being uncomfortable, macam senak, macam rasa apa, um, pedih ulu hati, like that kalau ambil high fat and santan foods. So
Mm.
if there is yang high fat and santan food, kalau boleh jangan ambil kuah banyak sangat.
Yes.
So masak lemak, masak apa, kari, minyak, banyak sangat macam masak sambal. So jangan ambil kuah banyak sangat. 2-3 sudu saja cukup untuk basahkan and then continue makan. That is the one yang suitable and not suitable untuk terus berbuka with that kind of food. Kalau ada that kind of food, I suggest minum air dulu, makan buah, then go and solat, and then datang balik makan the nasi dengan that kind of food, so that ada masa untuk your perut apa yang orang nak panggil wake up a bit wake up daripada
Tak terkejut perut.
tak terkejut sangat perut tu, ya.
I see. Yeah, so that's why like yeah, in Islam also like we are encouraged to breakfast with kurma first. So that's the reason behind it, where you take the sugary one first.
The thing is, in our sunnah is breaking fast dengan kurma betul, but kurma in the Saudi Arabia or in kawasan Tanah Arab is not dried kurma like ours.
Oh.
It's fresh kurma. Ada beza antara fresh kurma dengan dried kurma. So fresh kurma is the kind yang release energy slowly. You have that fresh vitamins and such. But in the dried kurma, there's an increase of sugar and lesser in the amount of vitamin ACE. So yeah, so everybody thinks that kurma that we're taking right now is good, nothing wrong. But actually the sunnah refers to the kurma which is fresh fruit, not the kurma which is dried fruit that we are taking right now. So it's different. Same as when you're taking apricots. It's not the dried apricots that we're taking right now, but it's the fresh apricots. So when we're going back to the sunnah, when they're saying, how come it's only 2 kurma sahaja that a diabetic can take? Tak boleh nak ambil banyak-banyak. Sedangkan in sunnah, it's supposed to take ganjil, 3.
Yes.
Please be aware. Saya nak tekankan, kurma yang dimaksudkan dalam sunnah adalah kurma yang fresh. Boleh Google macam mana rupa kurma yang fresh, not kurma yang dah diawet dan dikeringkan untuk bawa ke sini. So yes, but in Malaysia we have this dried kurma because it's difficult untuk bawa masuk yang kurma yang fresh, and it's quite expensive. Boleh jumpa tapi it's quite expensive untuk dapat kurma yang fresh. Okay, so that's why dried kurma banyak dibawa masuk ke Malaysia. Tapi yang fresh kurma is the good kurma yang boleh nak ambil 3, 5 ataupun 7, because dia punya size is macam anggur sikit. Macam anggur. So lagi besar lagi ni. Not 2-3 biji macam dan kita akan cakap dekat diabetic patients. Ya, 2-3 biji. Ya.
Thank you for that information. Yeah, because I always thought that I know that kurma is a slow release type, but I don't know whether there's a difference between the fresh and the dried, which is I know now. I think I saw there's some selling in MBG, if I'm not mistaken, but
I saw in apa lagi tu? In Jaya Grocer ada. So jap, kita share kepada siapa yang nak tengok what is the dried kurma looks like.
I think our taste bud also like used to the dried one. The
this
fresh
is
one,
what a fresh kurma looks like, ya. Macam ni, dia macam anggur yang warna kuning. Dia bukan dried kurma macam kita. This is a fresh kurma. Semua ni fresh kurma. So boleh type fresh dates. This is how fresh dates looks like. Ni macam mana kurma rupanya.
Is there any
Yes.
difference between like medjool or apa different types of kurma?
Ada. There's a different types. It's the same as grapes. There's a different types. Macam green grapes, purple grapes, red grapes. So ada beza, but it's the same. So this is what fresh dates, fresh kurma looks like. Bukan yang dried kurma yang kita ambil. So that's why kalau dried kurma is limited to 2 biji sahaja because of the high sugar content. Memang it's fast release, tapi the vitamins yang ada in fresh fruits, especially the ACE akan vastly reduce. So tak dapat kebaikan daripada fresh fruit tu macam kebanyakan fruit. Contoh macam mangga, yang fresh mangga ada high of vitamin ACE yang sesuai untuk everybody ambil. Tapi once it's dry macam kurma, kismis, the type of vitamin yang kita panggil water vitamin ni akan go down banyak. So itu yang that's why we only suggest kalau kurma yang dried kurma 2-3 biji saja sebab sugar dia tinggi tapi this type of vitamin kurang. Kalau fresh kurma itu yang boleh ambil 3, 5 sampai 7 biji. That one yang boleh ambil yang fresh kurma. Fresh dates.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for sharing this. So this is a wake up call as well. So you can eat also the dry kurma, but make sure it is not berlebihan lah.
Yes, betul.
Okay. So that's why just recently I just want to share some experience because in the masjid that I went for iftar, the packing is just only 2. So I was like talking to myself, usually it's a ganjil, but this is 2.
Kenapa bukan nombor ganjil? Ada yang tanya, betul kita boleh makan nombor ganjil ke? Bukan nombor ganjil tu memberi kebaikan. Yes, but remember inside the sunnah, dia based kepada environment dan environment sunnah adalah fresh dates, bukan dried dates.
Alright, okay. So help everyone know about that now. Okay, so yeah, so we already covered all the questions that we have give to Miss Hafiza. So now is the Q&A session that we still have a good timing for us to ask. But before I open to the floor, which you can raise your hand, you can unmute yourself, and you can type in the chat box your question. I would like to cover some of the questions that have been submitted by our participant prior to this webinar. Yeah? Perhaps I can ask you a question they're asking about how to reduce weight effectively because it's a Ramadan month, right? So this is a good opportunity for them if they want to reduce the weight. So can you share about this?
Okay, for senior elderly population, we don't suggest to lose weight. First check your BMI. Is your BMI between the 21 to 25? If it's between that, then maintain your weight. Please don't lose your weight. Jangan turun berat badan kalau BMI dah ada dalam between 21 to 25. Sebab at that age, you're very difficult to lose fat. Yang senang nak lose is muscle. So if you lose muscle, lagi rendah immunity, lagi senang nak kena sakit. At age of 60 and above, lebih senang untuk turun muscle daripada turun lemak. So usually kita akan suggest untuk maintain weight. Maintain weight kalau BMI 21 to 25. Kalau berlebihan, kita akan suggest to increase your physical activity, your stamina. Itu yang lagi penting daripada focus on weight loss. Okay, so bila increase of stamina, you can read dekat internet, by doing exercise, dia akan membuatkan badan sangat banyak sihat, banyak faedah. And not only limited to weight loss. So kita nak faedah tu, we want that that pros from the exercise tu, bukan sahaja weight loss. Untuk yang elderly, very bahaya kalau weight loss ni, especially masa bulan Ramadan. Kita risau muscle yang hilang, bukan fat.
Okay. Since mentioned about just now you mentioned about the muscle loss, right? So yeah, we do have that kind of question as well. So correct me if I'm wrong. I understand that for muscle, the best nutrition for that is protein. So that is what they need to make sure that they have a good intake to prevent that.
Betul. So protein tak had kepada ayam, ikan, daging, seafood, telur. Ada
Hmm.
juga daripada susu dan tenusu, ada juga daripada your tahu and tempe, your soy. So ramai rakyat Malaysia, especially the elderly, kalau dah lama tak minum susu, akan jadi sensitif kepada susu. All of a sudden saya dah minta minum susu sebab nak dapatkan protein source. A bit difficult. So tak apa, ada banyak jenis protein, boleh mix and match. Janji waktu makan, masa sahur dengan waktu berbuka ada 1.5 amount tapak tangan. So
Hmm.
ada yang juga tanya saya, tapi tangan saya lagi kecil daripada dia, tapak tangan saya lagi besar daripada dia. Dialah, dah badan lagi besar. Mana boleh nak bandingkan? Contoh saya nampak gambar Encik Hamdan Adnan. Encik Hamdan Adnan tak sama saiz dengan saya. Mestilah tapak tangan dia lagi besar daripada tapak tangan saya. Tapi itu adalah untuk badan dia. Tapak tangan saya adalah untuk badan saya sendiri. So senang. Kalau tapak tangan dia besar, dia dapatlah protein lebih. Itu memang
Hmm.
bukan because mereka lebih tinggi, lebih besar. So based on your own palm. Jangan base kepada orang lain punya palm.
Hmm. Okay. Yes. It's an individualized size, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So any food that you can suggest for those who are having a frequent muscle cramp?
Okay. Muscle cramps usually datang daripada one, dehydration, inadequate protein, inadequate magnesium, calcium and vitamin D. Okay, so kalau minum air cukup, yang 8 gelas sehari mesti, adequate protein, so macam saya kata 1.5 tapak tangan waktu sahur, 1.5 hingga 2 tapak tangan waktu berbuka.
Mhm.
And then ada ambil kira ada berjalan sikit dekat luar waktu petang-petang to get your vitamin D should be enough. Kalau rasa tak cukup, okay, especially yang calcium tu, boleh ambil suplemen. If nak ambil suplemen, boleh cari yang ada calcium together with vitamin D and magnesium. Dia ada banyak jenis suplemen yang calcium sahaja, calcium with magnesium and vitamin D. So I suggest untuk ambil yang calcium with magnesium and vitamin D. And I suggest yang ada 500 milligram per pill. Maknanya ambil 2 kali sehari. Bukan ambil sekali. So calcium ni dia bukan macam micronutrient zat besi yang jenis yang cepat diserap. Dia slowly diserap. So kalau ambil sekaligus 1000 milligram, takut bukan semua diserap dengan baik. Dia kalsium ni dia banyak lawan dengan nutrien yang lain. Dia lawan dengan zat besi, dia lawan dengan kafein, dia lawan dengan fiber, dia banyak lawan. So kalau sekaligus ambil banyak tu, banyak yang tak dapat nak diserap. So better ambil yang ada calcium with magnesium and vitamin D dan ambil yang jenis 500. Maknanya kena ambil 2 kali sehari untuk better absorption. For multivitamins pun sangat digalakkan if you start ada fatigue, maknanya penat lain macam. Hari biasa penat. Hari biasa tak adalah rasa aktif sangat, tapi waktu bulan Ramadan lain macam penat. Nak berbaring saja, nak tidur saja. Nak pergi angkat barang yang biasa pun tak boleh. Tak biasa. So then kena start ada multivitamin sikit.
All right, thank you. We also have a question from participants that maybe you can share from your experience, when you're giving consultation to your patient, like how to the best way to motivate their loved one, the elderly loved one, that they think of that kalau puasa je they need to eat a lot of rice so that they can stay full and throughout the times.
Okay. Actually, kalau kita tengok dekat kajian, yang paling cepat kosong daripada perut adalah sumber karbohidrat. Yang paling cepat. Maknanya dalam tempoh 2-3 jam dah habis dah daripada dalam perut. Dah habis dah di digest, dah habis dah dicernakan. Tapi yang tahan lama adalah protein dan sayur. So you makan karbohidrat saja macam 2 keping roti saja, lagi 2-3 jam tu yang akan rasa lapar. Tapi kalau makan roti tadi, ada telur, ada cheese, makan dengan kopi tu pula ada susu. Itu yang boleh tahan lama. Yang paling cepat di digest adalah karbohidrat, lepas tu fat, lepas tu protein. So lagi banyak protein yang diambil, lagi tahan lama makan sebenarnya. Bukan
Mm.
nasi, bukan karbohidrat.
Okay, yeah, that's the correct way for us to stay full for a longer period. All right, so I believe that I have covered the question that we have in our participant submission form. So now I would like to open the question to all our participants here today. So you can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself and ask question directly to Miss Nur Hafizah. Yang bukan senang dapat all this clinical community dietitian yang kita ya. Yeah, so please take this best time for you to ask question, or if you shy, you can type your question now at the chat box. Okay. Yes, we have someone. Yeah, okay, Encik Hamdan. Yes.
Doctor, how important for the seniors to, because you mentioned multivitamin,
Mm-hmm.
but how important for seniors to take fish oil?
Okay, alright. So fish oil, kita akan aim number one, fish oil tu adalah untuk kurangkan ke arah dementia Alzheimer. Is for your brain health. It's for your brain health, and another lagi satu adalah for your daily omega 3 punya omega 3 punya intake, nak elakkan inflammation at the same time. So those yang ada constant intake of fish oil, omega 3, DHA, EPA telah dibuktikan kurang dementia, Alzheimer and juga inflammation. Tapi kalau jenis yang ambil ikan, jenis yang ada ambil kacang-kacang, jenis yang ada ambil masak menggunakan minyak sayur-sayuran, boleh dapat dah your omega 3, omega 6 punya quantity. You don't have to take yang fish oil tu. So fish oil tu tak wajib, because boleh dapat daripada makanan biasa. But nak ambil, tak ada masalah.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hadam, for the question, Cik Hamdan. Now, is there any other question? Let me check, see. Okay, while waiting, I saw there's one terms had been submitted, cholesterol. So I don't know what actually that the person would like to know about cholesterol, but perhaps maybe maybe this is the good time for during Ramadan for us to control the cholesterol, something like that.
Okay, cholesterol kena faham, tak sama dengan lemak. Kolesterol dengan lemak adalah adik-beradik tapi tak sama. Makanan yang ada kolesterol mesti ada lemak. Tapi makanan yang ada lemak tak semestinya ada kolesterol. Okay, so kolesterol ni hanya datang daripada sumber haiwan. Only comes from animal source. Okay, while lemak can come from both animal and tumbuhan, animal and plant sources. So contoh, kalau saya bagi butter datang daripada animal source, dia ada both kolesterol dengan lemak. Tapi kalau saya bagi margarine hanya ada lemak. Okay, another example, kalau saya bagi apa lagi? Okay, kalau saya bagi minyak kelapa sawit. Minyak kelapa sawit tak ada kolesterol tapi ada lemak. So be careful tentang kolesterol. Kolesterol ni banyak datang daripada sumber haiwan yang macam daging, macam internal organs, seafood, telur, itu yang banyak kolesterol. Okay, bukan datang daripada minyak, santan. So kena differentiate, you nak turunkan lemak ke you nak turunkan kolesterol. So kolesterol ni juga banyak sebenarnya dalam masyarakat Malaysia, punca kolesterol naik adalah datang daripada makanan yang digoreng banyak kali. In other words, trans fat. Okay, bukan datang sangat daripada seafood, bukan datang sangat daripada makan organ dalaman, bukan datang daripada telur sangat, tak. Bila kita check balik diet, banyak datang daripada makanan yang digoreng banyak kali. Keropok lekor, goreng pisang, kuih muih, ayam goreng. Minyak yang digunakan tu sampai hitam legam. Sampai gelap sangat. Itu adalah punca kolesterol. Kolesterol lagi cepat naik kalau kita ambil trans fat. Trans fat ni datang daripada pembakaran lemak daripada suhu yang tinggi. So banyak datang daripada makanan yang digoreng dengan minyak berulang kali ataupun daripada bakery macam pastry, macam egg tart, macam tu, yang croissant, yang pastry tu, itu pun banyak trans fat. So makanan macam ni kena hati-hati. So dekat rumah digalakkan kalau dah goreng jangan lebih daripada 2 kali minyak tu. Okay. Alright, lepas tu recycle. Kalau daripada kuih muih, tengok seller tu, tengok penjual tu ada tak goreng sampai gelap. Kalau gelap, janganlah pergi cari yang lain. And hati-hati kalau dah makan makanan yang sumber kolesterol tinggi, macam saya kata daging, telur, internal organ, seafood. Contoh dah ambil waktu berbuka, waktu sahur tu janganlah ambil telur. Takkanlah telur pagi dengan malam juga. So kena ada balance. You dah ambil telur waktu pagi, masa malam fokus on ambil ikan, ayam, protein yang tak tinggi kolesterol.
Alright, thank you. So you mentioned about frying. So to elak all this thing happen, is air fryer is the best option, the best alternative to fry our food?
Okay, that is a very good option. Okay, cuma air fryer tu macam it does not get rid of the cholesterol, reduces the fat, tapi the cholesterol tu still ada. Kena hati-hati. The air frying reduces the minyak, reduces the oil, reduces the fat, tapi tak bermaksud it reduces the cholesterol.
Okay. Alright. So, yep, we are already at 4 o'clock. So, is there any more question from our participant? If there's no question, then we should proceed with the photo taking. Kita kena ambil gambar bersama-sama. Yeah. So, yeah, I want everyone to switch on your camera if you like, yeah, and then you should pose for your group photo. So for this, I pass it to Sam.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Okay, maybe one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Alright, thank you so much, Sam. So if we really don't have any more questions from our participants, then we should say thanks so much to Miss Nahafiza, this is a very good wake-up call, all the good new information for me as well. Yeah, tak sabar nak share dengan my mother as well. All these kurma things, yeah. Okay, so yeah, again, we would like to thank you so much for your time. So hopefully that we can invite you for more event with us. Yeah. Okay. So you can stay in this meeting because I want to share about the next we have our next event that I would like to share with our participant, which is we want to talk about how physical therapy helps seniors to stay mobile. So this we have our physiotherapist, Miss Janet Bong. She also a PhD candidate that she will cover on this topic and to share with our seniors here and all our participants. Yeah. So you can scan here now to register, or we will make sure to share these flyers as well in the feedback form that we will ask you to fill in. Please fill in your feedback form, because for those who have submitted your feedback form, will receive e-certificate from us as well. And like I promised just now, we will include the resources that Ms. Hafiza shared just now about DAR. Is it DAR website? Yeah, the apps. You can install the apps also. Alright, so with that, selamat berbuka puasa later. Ramadan Kareem and Ramadan Mubarak to everyone, and also to all our non-Muslim participants today. Yep, thank you so much again to Ms. Hafiza and all of our participants.
Okay, terima kasih doktor.
Okay, bye everyone.